Welcome back, Detroit Mercy students. It's now my great pleasure to talk with and introduce you to Mr. Dave Smith, the president of Detroit Loyola High School. Dave is the sixth president in Loyola's proud 28-year history, a post which he assumed in July 2019. Dave joined Loyola after a very successful marketing career at both Johnson & Johnson and Procter & Gamble before that. Dave is a native Detroiter, and he and his wife Sarah reside in the city. And given his Motor City roots, Dave is a huge Detroit sports fan. And I suspect that you'll be seeing Dave again throughout this semester. So Dave, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. Before we get to the specific questions about the class assignment, what are your thoughts about this new, unique partnership between Loyola and Detroit Mercy?
This partnership between Loyola and the University of Detroit Mercy, I think it's a wonderful collaboration. Here at Loyola, we have a great story, and public relations is really about great storytelling. So from my perspective, I think this partnership is a win-win for both of us. For Loyola, we get the benefit of fresh new perspectives from UDM students on how to tell our story in a different and possibly more effective way. So that's a big win for us. For UDM students, I believe it's a wonderful opportunity to collaborate with a team of seasoned marketing and public relations executives. We're blessed at Loyola to have on our board, on our marketing committee, and on our staff with Mr. Jankowski, a number of people that have been in the business, in the PR business, in the marketing business for years. So I think it's just a wonderful opportunity for UDM students to learn from the folks associated with Loyola. And finally, I just think it's always great when two great Jesuit institutions in the city of Detroit get together and leverage each other's strengths. So really excited about what we're doing here.
Dave, we've just given the students an assignment to write a news release about the Loyola Work Experience program. The goal is to build public awareness and attract even more companies to participate. From your perspective, why is this program important, and how does it fit into the school's overall mission and purpose?
The Loyola Work Experience program is a critical part of what we call the Loyola formula. There are multiple elements to that formula. We're all male, we're a Catholic Jesuit school, we have very small class sizes, and that enables us to spend a lot of personal, customized time with each individual student to take advantage of their strengths. We provide academic, nutritional, and spiritual formation here at Loyola, and that's done with a great staff. So those are critical elements to the Loyola formula. But that last piece, that last part of the formula is the Loyola Work Experience program. And I think it's critical to the success we've had here at Loyola. We are now entering our 11th year of 100% college acceptance. And I think that work experience program is a critical part of that, because not only does it lead to college acceptance, it leads to college persistence and completion, and then on to the workforce. I'm so glad that we're working on this with the UDM students.
Is this type of work experience program common at the high school level? Now, obviously, colleges and universities have similar programs, but this Loyola program seems pretty advanced for a high school.
Yes, the Loyola Work Experience program is very unique, and we found that our parents find it very attractive for their young men to come to a school where we offer this type of work-study program. And companies, local companies, are very interested in partnering with us also, because this is such a unique program. The concept of a corporate work-study program was introduced by Cristo Rey in Chicago in the early 90s, and about 18 years ago we customized that for Loyola. So we've been working on it ever since, and we find it's a unique identifier for Loyola.
Okay, Dave, how about some basics? How long has the program been in existence? And who are some of the companies and industries that currently participate in the program?
The Loyola Work Experience Program was first started in the school year of 2003. And from the very start, we had just great response from local companies. And as a result, our students have had an opportunity to work in many different industries and in great corporate settings. Ford Motor Company, General Motors in the auto industry. Beaumont has been a great partner in the healthcare space. Our students have also gone to research companies like IHS Markit, distribution companies like Hollingsworth, law firms like Dykema, and also into some nonprofit and charitable organizations like Focus Hope. So just a great diversity and assortment of partners for our students to get this great work experience.
In terms of your students, Dave, who is the work experience program open to? And is it a required class for graduation?
Yes, the Loyola Work Experience Program is open to just our upperclassmen, our juniors and seniors. Our freshmen and sophomores, we focus with them on their academics and getting them prepared to later participate in the Loyola Work Experience Program, and our corporate sponsors appreciate that training. And yes, it is a requirement for our juniors and seniors to complete the Loyola Work Experience Program in order to graduate.
And how does the program work? For example, as a student, how do I get assigned to a company? Do I go to work every day? Am I paid? How am I graded?
Yeah, let me see if I can address all those questions one at a time. Our students, our juniors and seniors, go to work 1 day per week and 1 Friday per month. So 5 days per month they are at their work site and doing their job. As far as how they're selected for the companies, we try to do our best to match the skills and interests of our students with the different company locations and jobs. So we're trying to make a good match for the student and a good match for the company. As far as payment, yes, our students are working and the company does pay them for their efforts. We are the actual employer of the student, and the companies pay us, and then we use those dollars to offset the cost of our students' education here at Loyola. Finally, as far as how they are indeed graded. It's based on attendance, it's based on feedback and evaluation by the partner sponsor, as well as each week we ask the student to write a weekly reflection on what they learned that week at work. Based on those 3 elements, they do get a grade.
Dave, if I'm the CEO of XYZ company, what are the main benefits for participating in this program?
As I talk to company CEOs and presidents, I usually point to 3 main benefits of participating in the Loyola Work Experience Program. First of all, by participating, you're going to get a good worker who's going to come to work every day and complete the tasks and the job assigned to them. So there'll be a tangible benefit there, and it also potentially allows other employees of the companies to focus on other priorities. So that's number 1. Number 2, I would point out just the contribution to the overall community and being a good example of corporate social responsibility. By working with our young men and helping their development, helping them develop into men for others and men for Detroit and men for the community, it's just a great example of corporate social responsibility. Third, I would say a major benefit of having a Loyola student coming to your location is the energy and the joy and the unique perspective that a teenage young man brings to the workplace. We often hear back from our partners how our students add to the culture of the place. So those would be the 3 big benefits I'd point out to any CEO.
On the flip side, Dave, and you may have already covered some of this, but what are the main benefits for the Loyola students participating in this program?
I think the benefits for Loyola students are huge of the Loyola Work Experience Program. First, the real world experience of being in the workplace is very enlightening for our guys. To go to a job, to be assigned a task, to be expected to complete that task on time, and to get feedback on how they're doing, that kind of real world experience is extremely valuable. Second, the Loyola Work Experience Program gives our students exposure to many different industries, and it can really help them with their future career choices. What do I really like? What do I want to do? What are possibilities that I hadn't even contemplated before? So being in different workplaces is very helpful in that regard. And finally, I would point to possibly the most valuable is just the soft skills that our students learn from interacting with so many professional, talented people. A diverse assemblage of people that can really share with them different perspectives and really open up their minds and hearts.
Dave, given your long and successful career in business, does this work experience program have even more relevance for you in terms of how it can impact your students?
I was fortunate when I was at Johnson & Johnson to actually have a number of interns work for me during the summers typically. I wasn't lucky enough to have high school students work with me, but during those summers I really enjoyed it because it gave me an opportunity to work with young people on things like strategy and measurement and analysis and process. But ultimately, those summer months were spent learning how to work with people. And again, that's what I think is the biggest benefit for our students is this opportunity to work with a wide array of adults that aren't your parents and aren't your teachers. It's a magical interaction between our students and the people at our partners.
We're going to be talking with Kenneth Gardner in just a bit, but before we do, Dave, do you have any final thoughts for the Detroit Mercy students about this work experience program and their assignment?
I do, particularly about the assignment. This public relations course is really about great storytelling, and at Loyola we know we have a wonderful story, and we think we've told that story well over the past 27 years. But we can always tell the story better, and I would really encourage you to think about different ways that we can tell this great story and tell the great story about the Loyola Work Experience Program. Help us come up with that next rendition, that next powerful story to help us let more people know about Loyola.
Thank you, Dave. We really appreciate your time and insight about the Work Experience Program. Okay, students, our next step is to talk with Mr. Kenneth Gardner, who runs the program for Loyola. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, students, we are now with Kenneth Gardner, who is the director of the Loyola Work Experience Program. Kenneth, we just spent some time with Dave getting his thoughts about the Work Experience Program. But before we do the same with you, can you share with us some of your personal and professional background?
Sure, I'll be more than happy to. Well, I started at Loyola November of 2019. But before that, let me just take you back a little bit on my education. I'm a product of Detroit Public Schools. I went to Detroit Cass Tech, and from Cass Tech, I went to the University of Michigan, just like David. We didn't know each other at the University of Michigan at that point in time, but David was a big track enthusiast. I'm a big track enthusiast, so we did have that in common. I really got my introduction to Loyola by working for some of the companies that I worked for in the automotive industry. We had Loyola students as part of our workforce, and we treated them just like they were part of our workforce because they contributed a great deal to making sure we were successful. I'm proud of working here at Loyola, and if you haven't visited Loyola, please do so in the future.
Thank you, Kenneth. That's awesome. So let's get started. Why don't we begin with you explaining how the COVID-19 pandemic altered the Work Experience Program for businesses and students alike this year and last. Like, what was your strategy for implementing the program and keeping it going?
Wow, what a great question. The pandemic, as you know, was devastating, not only to the local businesses, but globally, from education to automotive to healthcare. All of our partners were affected. We were affected. And in order for us to be effective, the most effective we can be, our kids need to be at the work site. Those work students, they need to be there getting that interaction, that connectivity. And all of that went away. So what we had to do is to come up with a strategy that enabled us to reconnect. This strategy we call the Loyola Work Experience Signature Seminar Series. And it's a process that enables the workforce to virtually come to Loyola with our students, and we go from there.
Wow, the Signature Seminar Series is a great idea. How does it work for your students and the participating companies? And what are some of the topics that are covered?
The Signature Seminar Series was born out of necessity, a necessity to connect our partners with our students and our students with our partners. It's been a great success. It's really afforded us to keep that connectivity, and the thought was bringing the workplace to the students, since the students couldn't go out and work. The way it works is every month, the first Friday and the second Friday of each month, we have our partners come in and they do a seminar series with our juniors. They're the first Friday, and our seniors the second Friday. Some of the topics range from things that we want to have our students learn and get that professional development in. Those could be as simple as resume writing, career paths. A lot of our partners, they come in, and it's called signatures because they have to put their signature on the seminar, their stamp of approval. So the seminars, they aim to be impactful, very exciting, and fun at the same time. The seminars range from a 2-hour process to a 4-hour process, depending on the innovation of each of our partners.
I understand that one of your longest running partners is DTE, and that they recently teamed up with Junior Achievement to sponsor a special Finance Park seminar. What was that all about, and what did your students gain from that seminar?
I just love talking about our work partners, and DTE Energy is one of the best work partners. Our program has been in existence for 18 years, and guess what? DTE has been a value partner with Loyola Work Experience Program for 18 years. In this seminar, they wanted to be creative, innovative, and take a leadership role. So what they did, they invited their vice president of global purchasing and supplier diversity to be the keynote speaker at this Finance Park Experience seminar. And Mr. Tony Tomzak did a great job in instilling in our young man the values of leadership, encouraging them to be the best they can be in everything they do and everywhere they go. And even if they fail, for them to get back up and to start the process all over again. And we really appreciate Tony and the DTE Energy partners for being who they are to Loyola. Another part of Finance Park, and this is the fun part of it, was with Junior Achievement. Junior Achievement brought a financial park, and imagine, if you will, this park full of games, full of questions, full of mysteries about finance. Anything from budgeting to credit scores, high credit, low credit, how to buy a car, how to buy a home, what's the best mortgage. All of that knowledge was given to our students on the first day of the seminar. The second day of the seminar was a simulation, and our students had to put together and practice everything they learned from the first seminar. So they got assigned a couple of protocols. One, they got assigned a family. And it could be married, not married. It could be an older family. It could be someone just out of college. They got a budget and they had a job that they had to go to every day. So then they got on the computer and through the simulation, they plugged in what their budget was, what they wanted to buy, what they could buy. They had to make a choice on buying groceries, paying the electric bill, which was DTEs, or buying a pair of brand new Michael Jordans. So they quickly learned some of the challenges that their parents have, because at that point in time, they were the parent. They were in charge of bringing home the bacon, if you will.
Another recent seminar was hosted by Beaumont, which must have been very timely given the ongoing pandemic. What were some of the highlights of the Beaumont program for you and your students?
Wow, another great partner, Beaumont Health Systems. Beaumont, I tell you, they show us how to be leaders in this work experience program. What they did for us in bringing in for their seminar, it was careers at Beaumont and career paths. And they talked about things like building a resume. We were fortunate because they brought in doctors, lab technicians, nurses, every element of a hospital organization that you could think of, Beaumont addressed. And those individuals that spoke with our work students, they covered what it took for them to be successful in high school, college, and their jobs. And what I like about the Beaumont experience was they knew their audience. They knew that they were talking to a group of people of color. And in talking to them, they brought in male nurses. They brought in male African-American nurses. They brought in doctors that were Asian, that came from all backgrounds to discuss career paths and what it takes to be successful. And that's why I love Beaumont. They get it.
Now, Dave touched on this a bit, but can you also talk about some of the benefits that your students get from this program? It seems to me that besides learning about a specific industry like healthcare or energy, they also learn what it takes to succeed in the business world, from, as you mentioned, writing resumes, to being a team player, to having a strong work ethic. What else is covered?
What else is covered is our students get the opportunity to learn how to be their authentic selves in a work environment, an environment that they didn't have any clue existed, and if they knew it existed, they didn't know how to function in it and still be themselves. So the soft skills that they pick up on looking someone in the eye, on shaking their hand with a firm handshake, on developing a mentor that can navigate them through not only that work environment, but the human race, on what good decisions look like, how to be respectful to their workforce, as well as taking it home to their community and being respectful to their neighbors, their classmates, their teachers. It's so much more than the job. And that gives also our partners that pride in instilling those teaching moments into our work students.
And Kenneth, on the flip side, what do your business partners get from participating in the work experience program?
Great question, Tom. And the majority of our business partners are in the same communities that our school is in, that our students live in. And what our business partners really get is a sense of community pride. They get a sense of boosting the company culture, to give back, to go and volunteer, to be proud of what they're doing, to make it vocal internally as well as externally, to show that they're being a good corporate citizen. And I think that brings value to the benefit of that corporation, and that really improves that corporation's total wealth proposition.
Without naming names, do you have any particular success stories or anecdotes from businesses, from students, or even their families that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, I do. And let me start with the families. First of all, the families are too proud of their young man having a job. And unfortunately, it's a job that could be better than what the family holds down. They're working for a company that gives them benefits, a company that's a structure, a main focus in the community and the city of Detroit. Second of all, our sponsors, they develop our young men, and our young men have won Best Volunteer in these corporations. Our partners, they just speak values of how our young men have taken their corporate work environment and made it one that fosters caring. It fosters a relationship with not only that mentor, but other people within the corporation to pick up that mantle and introduce themselves to our young men and give our young men tips on what they do and how they can improve. And it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop with them just ending work. They could go and have a summer job with our partners. And our partners, the sad thing about it is our program ends in 2 years, and that student will go on to college, but they still have that relationship that they built in order to come back and maybe even work for the company. That would be the best thing. We call that full circle, where a young man started out as a Loyola intern. He worked the summer for that same company. He went to college, came back, worked for that same company, and that company hired him to be a full-time employee. And that's what we call full circle. And that's why it's called an experience. It's just not a job, it's an experience on both sides of it.
One of the main goals of this news release assignment is to get more businesses to sign up. So if I'm the CEO of XYZ company, why should I even consider becoming a program partner? And if I'm interested, how do I learn more? And most of all, how do I sign up?
Please, if you're a CEO of a company, we want you to sign up for our Loyola Work Experience program. What it does for you, it gives you the opportunity to really give back to the community. It fosters a relationship, a team building relationship that's everlasting. You'll learn about Loyola, what we do, the Loyola experience, and we'll learn about your corporation and how to help you improve that bottom line. Well, how can we do that? Well, we can do that by letting you and your people focus on your core strategy, what it takes in order for you to improve that bottom line. Let us handle your mailroom organization. Let us handle answering your phones. Let us handle running errands. Let us handle the shredding of your files. Let us handle filing your files. Give us that busy work that's not necessarily improving your bottom line, but it is necessary for you to run a top-notch organization. We can do all of that for you. And it's so easy to get in contact with us. You can email me personally. I want you to. And my email address is simply kgardner@loyolahs.org. Or you can reach us on our website at www.loyoladetroit.org. Or you can give me a call. Just call the main office at 313-861-2407. I'm at extension 126, but you can ask the operator and she'll connect you to me. If I'm not available, ask for anyone that knows about the Loyola Work Experience program, and they'll take a message and I will personally call you back.
As we look forward, even though the program is virtual now, is the plan to resume in-person, on-site participation for students and businesses once it's safe to do so?
Most definitely, Tom. And that virtual experience program, it did what it had to do for us. It kept us connected to our partners, and it kept the students connected to the partners. So we're thankful for that program and that innovation. But for us to be the most successful, we need to go to our partners and work. We need to develop those relationships. We need to develop those soft skills. We need to be able to go to work in that environment that fosters that community. That's what it's all about. That is the glue that holds us together, is to be able to be face to face and look someone in the eyes and say, son, job well done. Or say, son, you need a little improvement, with this job. Do it again for me. Both ways are beneficial to us growing. And without us returning back to the work sites, our young men, they can't do that. So we're ready. We are so ready to return back to the work site.
The Loyola Work Experience Program is an amazing one. For our last question, Kenneth, and on a very personal note, what do you, as the director of this program, get from leading such an important initiative?
That's a great question, Tom, and I appreciate that question. I need to back up a little bit and let you know, working here at Loyola provides me the tools to really dive into the Loyola Work Experience Program, because that L is for Loyola. And Loyola is our faculty, our teachers, our staff, our community, our parents, is everybody involved in that. And I can tie in the work experience program with each student, and it means so much to see the students grow. Can you imagine going to a Ford Motor Company or General Motors for the first time? Just the sheer bigness of the facility can knock your socks off. And for our young men to learn how to navigate that, to learn how to challenge that, to learn how to grow with that, it's amazing, and it amazes me every day. And I'm successful when our young men come back and say, Mr. Gardner, I get it. I want to be better. Or our sponsor says, Mr. Gardner, your work students, they have improved 100%. Love them. Please, can I keep them? And I have to say, no, they have to graduate and go to college. And I also think what gives me pride, or I also know what gives me pride, is I know this is part of the Loyola formula, and our kids will go to college. We're working on 11 straight years of college acceptance. That's for all our seniors. That's unheard of. That is great. And it's because of the Loyola work experience. That's one of the elements that makes them successful. And I have to give them a grade. So their grade is, I want to give them an A, because they need to graduate knowing they have a competitive advantage of their peers in the Detroit schools and in some of the schools around the Detroit area. They can have that work experience and put that on their resume and be proud of it. And that makes me proud.
Thank you, Kenneth, for your time today. It was great. And thank you also to the students for watching. We can't wait to see your news releases, as together we strive to take the Loyola Work Experience Program to a whole new level. And to quote your main Loyola client, Mr. Roger Jankowski, go forth and do great work.